All right, so you just learned how to work with strings and do some basic string manipulation, things like case conversion, counting the number of characters, counting the number of unique character strings within a column, how to detect words, extract parts of words, and replace words. So let's go ahead, let's use that information, and we're going to work through this knowledge check. So we wanted to do two things in this, or three actually. We want to use a product type column, which and identify which products have the longest and shortest descriptions. We want to use a package size column and identify the values that are the most common within our data. And then last one is replace all instances of DSH with dish in the product category column. All right, so let's answer number one first. I've got the products data loaded. We can go ahead and take a look at that, products.head. And we see we have just a few columns here that contain product ID, manufacturer, the product category, product type, and package size. So in this case, number one is using the product type column, which is right here. Which product has the longest description? How about the shortest? Well, so to figure this one out, right, we can go ahead and we can look at product type, and we can always access any of the string functionality within a column with the str and then whatever method we're looking for. So we can get the length of each of the elements in that column with the len function. Okay, so what we could actually do is we could go ahead and we could save this out as lengths, and then what I could always do is I could say, all right, I've got lengths, and let's look and see what the max length is. This is the longest length in there. We see it's 30. So what I could do is say, I want to actually filter our lengths series for those that meet the max condition. All right, so we can go ahead, we see a bunch of falses. We could actually go ahead and say, what is the sum of this? We could see there's actually 9,000, a little bit over 9,000 products that have this max length. So I'm assuming that the maximum length we could have in a product type description is 30, since multiple products have that length. All right, so we can do that. Now, so again, this is going to return that true false, and we can actually use this to go ahead and we want to filter for those that meet that condition. And now we see we get all of those rows where the product type description has 30 characters. Now, just note that the 30 characters includes any spaces in there, so we'd have to do some additional work if we wanted to exclude any spaces. But for right now, all of these product type rows, observations, they all have 30 characters or more. Actually 30, exactly. All right, if we want to find the shortest, right, all we have to do is take this max and we can flip it to min. And now we see the shortest looks like they all have 3 characters in them. So ham and this SBT. All right, so let's look at number 2 now. It says, which package size values are most common in our data? Which is the least common? Well, we saw, well, actually, let's go ahead and just pull this package size so we can take a look at this column. And this column just contains all the different available sizes. And you'll see that some of them are none just because there may not be a package size associated with them. But you saw in the lesson that we can always get the number of instances for a certain value in a column with value counts. So this is going to count up the number of times a particular value is represented in a column. So when we do that, we can see we have 16 ounces is the most common package size. We have over 4,000 products that come in that particular size. 12 ounces is the next common. Now, if we go to the bottom, we see that there's probably going to be a whole bunch where it equals 1. And you can see that these look to be just kind of odd sizes, right? So 3 ounce / 10 quarts, 3/16 ounces 6-pack bottles. So some of these may be just unique because of the naming convention. All right, so now let's go ahead and take a look at number 3. Replace all instances of DSH with dish in the product category column. How many products does this impact? Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at our product category column. We see we have a bunch of different types of product categories, and it talks about replace all those instances of dish or DSH with dish, right? So let's go ahead and let's just look at this right now. We're not going to replace them quite yet, but I want to look for instances of DSH or instances of dish. Right, we're going to go ahead and ignore the case, and NA equals false. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look. So we have a whole bunch of different products here, and what I could say, these represent dishes type products. Let's go ahead and take a look at this now. Products, dishes. Okay, so now we can see within product category we have all these instances where it's DSH, right? Or there could be instances where it's dish. We see here, down here we have dishwash because dish is in that name, right? But what we want to do is take all these where it's DSH and replace that with the word dish. All right, so it does say how many products does this impact? We could answer that right now since we have this dishes right here. And recall this is a true false, so it identifies all cases of this DSH, right? If I wanted to find all instances where we're just going to replace DSH, right? That's our objective here. I could do that. And what I could do is actually say, I want to sum that up. So there's 451 products that contain this DSH that we're going to replace. All right, so how do we replace it? Well, all we need to do is say products. Actually, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take this right here. I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to access the str and then access the replace method. And I want to replace DSH with dish, right? And case equals false. Now I want to actually do that, and I'm going to override the current product category column. Save that there. And now if I were to look at products, and if I were to look at where we actually have these DSH instances, right? If I just look there, we'll see now where we had DSH before has been replaced with this dish. And in this case, lowercase.